Hello everybody, I'm Jeff Slingluff with Boston Roland here at the 2018 NAMM convention, talking to you about the new product called GT-1000. I'm super excited about the GT-1000 for a lot of different reasons. Let's start with some of the first overview things. Number one, it is a 32-bit A to D, D to A, 96 kilohertz. That's fantastic. It's got the new Boss Roland processing chip, which is designed specifically for music. And with that, it's also got, a ton of new features, right? Like taking all the algorithms from the 500 series pedals, the DD500, the RV500, and the MD500. Those two are 32-bit, so we're kind of, unique in that category. But if you have all that processing power, what are you going to do with it? Right? So we're going to do something kind of unique. We've been telling you for years about tube logic, and I'm sure you've experienced on amps like Katana and of course the Blues Cube amp series. What I'd love for you to do is check this thing out because it's all about feel. Right? It has a technology called AIRD, and it stands for Augmented Impulse Response Dynamics. Dynamics being the key word here, because guitarists, we're all about dynamics. If it doesn't feel right, we complain, right? And this is one of the typical reasons why guitar players are always saying, turn it up. It's also the typical reason why guitar players who have tried alternate scenarios, like a separate preamp and power amp section, have rolled backwards and went to an all-in-one solution. So it's kind of the quintessential thing that is necessary for guitar players to make it us a symbiotic relationship with our instrument, our amp as all one. So I'm going to just tap on a couple notes here, and I want you to hopefully, through your computer speakers or whatever you're listening to on this, you'll kind of feel some of this thump. If you don't, I do when I'm sitting here, so this might be something I want you to get your hands on. Right, we're going direct out of the sky. Some of you have tried things like FR systems, but what you usually find is that the dynamics that you're typically used to on your guitar amp, that while it might sound good, you're not getting the feedback that you need as a player. This is designed to do it. AIRD allows you to do that either through a direct scenario, it does it through a PA system, of course, right? And it also does it to your amplifier. Because when you plug into an amplifier, remember years ago we all used to do separate preamps and power amps and then cabinet? Well, the cabinet and the power amp we're talking, but the preamp and the amplifier section work. Well, with a lot of the devices that we can do with multi-effects processors, we got the preamp and the power amp starting to talk, right, with tube logic, but we needed to add that cabinet into it. And if you're going to plug into a live cabinet on stage, right, you want to compensate and work with its frequency response and dynamics and things like that. So on here, there's a cool mode where you go in and do the output section and try and figure out what's going on there, what your source is, and then they'll talk to each other, and you'll get the correct feel that you're trying to get out of it. Right? Really important feature to this. So with its inputs and outputs, you have input and you have two effect sends and you have two simultaneous output sections. One is XLR, right, and one of them is 1/4 inch. Since you have two amplifier tones that you can run simultaneously, 4 parallel paths that can be routed in all kinds of ways that you're going to be really surprised what you can come up with. And but you can actually take those and put them in different outputs. You even have different cab tunings for one set for the XLR and one set for the 1/4 inch. So if you're running the 1/4 inch to the amplifier, you can also run a different sound set to the house. This is really great because it'll allow you to dial in your tone on stage, get the feel you want on stage, right? But maybe the sound for the house you want a little bit cleaner, maybe a little less delay, and you can tighten that up, or just be weird and have clean to the house and distorted to you. Inside here, there's multiple routing things you can do, and one of the things that I love about this is this big, gorgeous display that's on here. It's a smaller unit, smaller footprint, and it's got this beautiful display, which you can go and do all the deep editing straight from it. But in the live world, this display is best suited for a stage scenario. Lights on it, it's going to do great. Out in the sun, it's going to do better than most. And for deep editing, you can do it either from the unit or from an iOS device or an Android device via Bluetooth. Thank you so much for joining us here at Boston Roland at the 2018 NAMM convention. Look for GT-1000s in the store, coming to you soon. Thanks.